Welcome back, guys. We're again here at the front gates of Skinwalker Ranch, and the new season on the History Channel is just about to kick off. When you come up here and you try to visit, this place is private. There's so much research that's going on here that Brandon's doing, that Eric Bard's doing, that the whole team is doing, and then they've got all the contracts with the History Channel, that it's not like the public can just come and visit. So the place that we're going is called Thunder Strike Ranch. Burn this one into your brain. This is a family-owned property. This is the family that owns all of the cows that come and graze at Skinwalker Ranch. And now they've just bought 50 acres with a cabin and an Airbnb. And one of the first things they did was message me and invite me to come up here and install one of the modular sensors. This is going to be one of the public devices. So along with the sensor that's at my house and the one that's in Hesteland, Norway, and the other public sensors that you can access through the Patreon Inner Circle Mupas group, this one is going to be right up in between Skinwalker Ranch and Blind Frog Ranch. So right at the south end of Blind Frog Ranch, now we've got Thunder Strike Ranch. Which way is it to Thunder Strike Ranch? That way? Okay. Staying in that little cabin right there. That or the teepee. If the Mupas is going to work or not. Hey, the door's open. Nice. I think I'm good to go in. This is where we're going to be staying. Oh, this is sick. This is sick. So like whole groups could come up here.
In the future, I want to do like a dude ranch. You know?
Yeah. Whoa, this is way bigger than I thought.
Yeah. And when I went and checked it out, I found a whole set of bones in there.
No way. That's like a big coyote or something.
Massive.
There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past. Maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown. I came back down to the cabin for this afternoon and took a little bit of a nap. And we got to figure out a spot where we're going to hook up this modular sensor. We have the Mupas device. So we need to get a building that has Wi-Fi, plug it in, get it connected to the internet, and get it to where it can start tracking, because it'll capture all of the gamma, the infrasound, any kind of EMF fluctuations. I mean, we're getting stories out of this place that there is the ghost of a shaman, there's abandoned Spanish minecart paths, and maybe mines and trails and tunnels that go underneath the property here. All kinds of weird paranormal activity, and including UFO watching. So it is overcast right now. I'm hoping this burns off because we're getting ready now for the night investigation that I want to do. So I've got my Psionics night vision camera. I'm going to just show you the equipment that I brought on my trip really quick. So I've got this Psionics Aurora Black. I'm kind of feeling like I need to upgrade and get better night vision now. I've been using this one for a couple of years and it works great, but it's only 720p. So the quality is not amazing, but it still does the job. Then I've got a radiation detector, and I want to go over to the potential abandoned mine and the pump house over there and check that as well. Got this EMF detector that we're going to be taking up there and hiking around with, so I want to check for EMF activity. So these are like, we can carry them around and use them in the field. And then I have this HIC Micro, that's how it's said, thermal imager that we can use. So I'm just going to carry these small portable ones until we can plug in the modular sensor in one of the lodges or the cabins here. But I think this place is going to get all kinds of activity, and the Mupas sensor we're going to be able to set up and live track all of that data. So if anything paranormal happens, if I'm sleeping in the cabin or if somebody's up here staying and they have like a weird dream or an encounter, or we see a UFO fly over, we can actually record all of that, scientifically track all of the data and get the proof. And it's not just like a story and blurry pictures. We can actually scientifically track the data. So Thunderstrike Ranch is going to be one of the public sensors that we have that's going to be available, and you can watch all of that through the membership on the Patreon page. So when you join the Carl Crusher Patreon page, you get the login, and we're also going to set it up so that through the Thunderstrike Ranch website and other places in the future, you'll probably be able to log in and track all of that, watch the data live through a membership through Thunderstrike as well. We'll figure all that out as we're going, but today and on this trip, we're just trying to get everything set up and do our initial expedition and exploration of the property. Well, I feel really good and rested now that I took a nap. Got a little break, but I've got the EMF detector and radiation sensor. I kind of want to go up by the mine over here where that big cable is and see if we can get any weird readings or anything out of it. But here's Donovan right here, you know, set up. How's it going?
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're not interrupted at all. I was just going to take a radiation sensor and the EMF detector and go check like the mine and the pump houses and around the area. See if we get any weird readings.
Sounds good. We were just going to go dig up that stupid hydrant that's leaking, so.
Oh, the one up there?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Are you doing that right now?
Yeah.
So maybe I'll come poke around and see what you're doing.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome, man.
We're going to have a jump right up.
Okay, see you in a sec. Here comes the dogs. Hey, puppies. Hi. Big day on the ranch. So we're digging up a leaking pipe. Hi, puppy. So this is good. There's going to be a lot of activity going on. We'll come out here and see what's up and maybe film some of that. But I definitely want to read the ground. Part of my job here is to get those sensor readings and make sure that the property's safe. We don't want the family bringing their pets and their kids and everything around to play in locations if there's abandoned mine shafts that are giving off weird radiation or energy in the property that should be avoided. So we're going to check and make sure everything in that area is safe, because a lot of times, you know, like we hear about at Skinwalker Ranch, there is weird anomalies that come out of the geology, like radiation and EMF spikes and all that stuff. I gotta throw the ball for the dog. Charlie's gonna sit here and just laugh at me. Just sit there and beg me to do it. But yeah, we'll get the EMF detector and the radiation sensor, and we'll try to figure out, make sure that the property's at least safe. It's gonna be 10 times better once we get that modular sensor installed, because then you'll be able to log on to the website, see all the data. If any spikes occur, any weird anomalous energy moves across the property, that sensor is going to catch all of the data, and they're going to be able to log it and see what's going on. On a property like this, you've got to have active sensors that are monitoring what's going on, because if you have a sighting, like let's say tonight, some UFO comes out of Blind Frog Ranch or appears in the valley and flies around over here, goes over Skinwalker, we're right in the path of all of that activity right over our heads here. So if we see that, it's one thing to film it. It's another thing, you know, to get pictures and stuff like that. But when we get the actual 5 sigma level data with all the sensor equipment that's tracking it 24/7, you don't even have to be there to see it in order to know that something passed through the property or something really happened that wasn't imaginary. So we've got to explore the property, figure all that out, see what we're working with. Chasing a cat. These dogs are funny, hiking around with them. And then we can actually track what's going on and get the proof, have it looked at by actual physicists and engineers that can help us determine what's going on here. So the thing about these properties though is that back when they were mining in the 1930s, 1940s, in some of these areas, and even before that, back when the Spanish were here, they had no idea about things like uranium or different types of deposit that gave off radiation. And they would have had no idea if that kind of stuff going on underground in the geology was affecting like paranormal activity and weird sightings that were occurring, like creating a thin spot in reality where things can come and go. So we're going to try and check all of that with our sensors. So we're just going to start off at this old mining cabin here, walk through here and check the property. This is a Geiger counter, so we're checking for radiation right now. anything that goes above 50, definitely gotta tell Donovan and the family. Especially like the rocks that have come out of the ground. Right now, 24, this is pretty much just regular radioactive decay. Charlie, come here. Are you radioactive? 32. Oh my goodness. 33. What happens if we walk towards the mine? We're up to 34. It's pretty normal. $35. Check the sorting table where they were maybe dumping piles of stuff that they dug up from underground. 33. It's actually going down out here. $30. $27. So nothing here. This is just ambient. Everything here is safe. This is just regular radioactive decay from like old structures. Pretty normal for an old building to hit 25. This is where it could get interesting here. This cable and where this abandoned mine shaft was, or is. Did you hear that start to spike up? That's not me breathing heavy. That's all the dogs following me around. Look at them all. They're so cool. No, they're awesome. I love them.
There's a lot of them around here.
It's fun. You don't have any dangerous radiation levels coming out of any of these holes or anything, so yeah, you're fine. It's all just normal, normal decay levels.
Yeah, that's super good. If you could find a water leak with me before we get that thing.
You know, I have a thermal camera, might be able to see it actually.
Really?
Yeah,
It keeps bubbling up at different places now, don't worry.
let's see. Well, Donovan's working on trying to locate an underground busted pipe back there by the pump house. And so we used the thermal imager, tried to track down any leaks underground, and we couldn't find it. We did find where some of the pipes are going, but it gave me the idea that before the sun goes down, I want to walk up here, because what we found was potentially these wooden posts or some of these old junipers that were actually, they look like they were axe cut. And so I want to go up here, use the thermal imager, because at some point the Spanish had a mine, a gold mine, where they were smelting down here right through that gap in the mountains. And so if they were mining gold, they would have had to have had cart paths or wagon trails or different things in order to load the gold up and down. So with a thermal imager, we might be able to see where ancient cart paths actually cross the land here, cross this road, and go up into the mountain. And hopefully we can see where some of those ancient trails were with modern equipment. So kind of in the same way that you would find like a leak in your attic or a broken pipe in the wall using thermal imaging, you can also kind of do that to see where these old game trails were. Here's kind of like a little game trail going through there that could be from cows or whatever, but We're gonna come up here. Oh, we're actually here right now. There's this old set of posts that looks like they were axe cut a long time ago. I'll show you what I mean. So we want to check this area for radiation, EMF signals and different stuff, and then also see if there's some kind of a cart path, because we've got this is chopped, that's cut, and these are both right on the path where the old Spaniards used to come up. So who knows? They could just be cut because they were repurposed or they needed to clear them out of the way. But it seems like interesting that right here at the junction they're cut. There's like a path going up. I mean, there could literally be a sinkhole or an entrance or an old mine shaft that's filled in, like right here or even right here. We just need to start looking around. It's kind of hard. You can see my reflection in there. But there's the post. There's the other small post. And as I explore and look around with this thermal imager, I might be able to see a cart path. Because watch, when I come down here on the road like this, change my field of view here. Right now it's all white hot from the temperature. So I'll point this down and see, you can see the trail where the truck drives, where it's all indented, is definitely a different temperature than in between. And that will still apply even on abandoned carts and abandoned paths and trails. I do have some room left on the SD card. It's all still really hot ambient temperatures right here. There's my backpack and the post right there. You can see on the white hot where the target, the red target is. So as I turn this way and look down the dirt road, you can clearly see that there's a road here, right? Like obviously I can see that with my normal eyes too, but I'm just demonstrating how you can see cart paths or wagon trails and different things that can be hidden on the terrain. So coming out of this field and through that gap in the mountains, there should be trails that the Spanish took that came up this road and then crossed this road. So we should see trails that intersect and cross. We're going to have to bring up the Terra Exploration group with the LiDAR to really be able to tell where the tunnel systems are going and what's here. Here we go. Now we're in a black hot setting, so you can see even better instead of the rainbow. It's almost like night vision, but can you see how clearly you can tell that this is like the dirt road and where it goes? That's the theory. We should be able to see other abandoned ones from a long time ago. So if we see a trail that crosses perpendicular to this road, then we might find an old Spanish minecart path. So here's like clearly an area that looks different, that looks like a crossing. What we need to find is this trail, or like a path like this, that actually goes up into the mountain. And then we follow it to the mine entrance. I have to kind of point this down at the ground. As soon as I lift it up and point it up at the sky, it defaults like it starts looking at the sun. See how you can see there's There's kind of a line going right here. Some of that's just debris. No definitive roads yet. We're looking for an invisible road. There's an obvious road that goes up there, and honestly, that might be it. It might just be this dirt road that's just continued to be used. I wonder if we just followed this up and around somewhere, if we could find something. Clearly a path going up though. I didn't see any obvious intersections or any crossing points, but I mean, sometimes the ancient trails are still used to this day and they're just repurposed. So it could possibly be that wherever there's dirt road goes up and winds around up on top of the hill, that's where we need to go. So there could be trails that branch off of this road and go off left or right into different mindsets, or we may have just missed it. It's not 100% guaranteed. We're just testing different layers. So that's definitely a main dirt road that's still used. But as far as any like secret trails that might cross this road and go up, I didn't find any of those, at least with the thermal. That does not mean, again, like there wasn't any, or I just haven't found them yet. This entire hill and on the top could have a lot of different pottery and pot shards, but I gotta be honest, this is one of the most difficult places that I've worked in order to find that, because the geology, everything on the ground looks like broken pottery. Everything looks like broken pottery, and it's not. It's just regular geology. So it's a needle in a haystack finding artifacts here, but for me, that kind of makes it fun. I will say this, personally, my sleep schedule since I've gotten here has been super strange. So ever since I got up to this property, like last night, I didn't even do a whole lot yesterday that I feel like should have wiped me out. But by like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I was zapped of energy. I was completely exhausted and I like crashed, fell asleep. And then I woke up random times, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was weird like scraping and scratching underneath the cabin floor. It could have been a cat or something hiding under there, or a rodent or whatever. But then today went on this big hike and exploring all over the place, and then again it's like pulled the energy completely out of me. Shouldn't have been that tired. I had to go back into the cabin and sleep for like 4 hours, but now I feel good, and hopefully all of this is just so that I can stay up tonight and the sky will clear off and we can do some sky watching. I really want to do psionics. I want to do some telepathy and see what shows up, because if we're right in between, Blind Frog Ranch is like 1 mile over the hill that way, and we're right on the direct path to Skinwalker Ranch, anything could fly over here. Psionics, summoning, everything is going to be really potent right here on this property at Thunderstrike. If you've been watching the TV show on the Discovery Channel for the mystery of Blind Frog Ranch, then you know that what they've been doing, or claiming that they're doing, is accessing these tunnel systems through culvert pipes that they've dug that go into these ancient aquifer chambers, or like these old caverns and abandoned mines that are underground that go all throughout this mountain range. And as a part of that, they claimed that while they were underground in this tunnel system, they even found what they thought might have been an old Aztec treasure, like a box full of weird rocks and strange kind of things in it. But the truth is that we're right on the south side of that property. We're actually a little bit further downhill and more advantageous mining regions. So the area that is more likely to have been mined and accessed by the ancient Spaniards, we already know happened right here. I mean, that's the spot right through that gap in the mountains. So this whole mountain range, or this whole surrounding area underground, you have to imagine it as like a honeycomb of caves and tunnels. And through those caves and through that tunnel system exists the entire story and the legends of the Skinwalker, the paranormal activity and the legends, and that possibly there could be underneath Skinwalker Ranch, underneath Blind Frog Ranch, underneath the Uinta Basin, there could be ultra terrestrials, there could be other dimensional life forms, there could be a whole base or alien base or hidden UFO hiding underground. It's all this same kind of weird formula that's all starting to come out in disclosure. But what's interesting is it's always seems to be overlapped in these places that are full of ancient Native American culture that was up here, Native American artifacts. And then the Spaniards come in and we're digging in the mines. It's like a formula that we keep running into. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these old Spanish stories of the treasure hunting and the mining that was going on, and some of this drilling and mining that was happening right here in the middle of the ranch, if that isn't all connected to this bigger picture. The odds are is it was, especially if they were mining for gold here, they could have run into anything. And the stories of the shaman appearing right here in the meadow, right here by the mine, it's all part of that story of the Skinwalker and that curse, or that guardian, that entity and that spirit guarding the land, guarding the geology, being like a protector of the place. And then for some reason, I wind up here. I wind up in these spots. I get invited to come and look and explore. And then like a piece of the puzzle, it all starts to fit together. So what we find here, I mean, the potential is huge. Where we end up going, if we end up finding abandoned mine entrances here, and this all becomes about exploring the artifacts there, or if the paranormal activity, as soon as we start poking around, or the fact that I'm here digging around, if the paranormal activity starts to shoot up, then who knows? Just by exploring, inviting people up here and poking around could trigger a response. But everybody that I work with, especially right now, has this really strong sense and feeling like this is all happening for a reason. And even like Donovan talking about how they were able to buy this property and obtain it, they're describing it almost like a miracle that they ended up with it, like a total blessing and a miracle that they even have this property. And the fact that I'm here researching it and helping them uncover it, the chain of events in order for all of this to happen, and the way that all of it lines up, plus the experience that I've got now from working up at Blind Frog, at Skinwalker, and over at Mount Wilson and all these other places, it's like all accumulates, it all adds up. And I think that disclosure is coming really soon. I think that the mystery behind all of this, the people coming out of the government and locals and properties like this, there's going to be an event. There's going to be some kind of a landing. There's going to be an appearance. There's going to be other dimensional beings, aliens, if you want to call them that are going to present themselves. And I really believe that that is going to happen at a place like Thunderstrike Ranch. I really believe that it could happen at Skinwalker Ranch. It could happen at Blind Frog. It could definitely happen here. It could happen this fall if we did an event like for Phenomenon and we all came up here together. It could happen right here, you know. But as we get closer, it all comes down to, you know, Donovan's following his intuition and paying attention to the synchronicities, and all of this. Even Dr. Jim Segala, physicist and engineer over the Mupas project, he's like talking openly about how some of the coincidences and the synchronicities is like certain moments of this process and this project are like they are meant to happen, and they're meant to happen in a specific way. So I feel like I'm here definitely for a reason, and we're going to find out what that is together. Well, randomly bloody nose. Sorry, I know that's gross. Just hiking around everywhere looking for radiation. Sprung a leak. One of the risks of doing this work, right? I don't know, it could just be the altitude. I know this is gross, sorry. Could just be the dehydration or altitude. But hiking around, looking for anomalous energy, random bloody nose, gotta document it, right? I wish, we need to get the MUPOS device set up. We need to see, like, right when I get the bloody nose, I'm sitting there, I was just having like a really positive experience meditating, all of a sudden my nose just started gushing blood. Right? I don't know, anyway, it's not bad. Not a bad bloody nose, but gotta pay attention to all this stuff.
Way old.
You think? Does that look axe cut to you too, though?
Yeah, like it's not like a saw you would expect to be more even.
Yep.
And that has the chunks cut out of it there.
Some old, it looks to me like, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but if there was an old Spanish gold smelter right there, you know.
This would be one of the first.
It's a straight shot, yeah. I mean,
sections of wood that they'd come across.
They come across, this was probably chopped by one of them. And then there's another one, this lower one down here that looks like it was hacked too, but it's hard to tell. When they get that old, if they just twist in the wind, but there's two of them right next to each other.
Yeah, and they're right on the edge of the meadow.
Yeah, and it's a straight shot. He said there's a dead
This one here,
a dead deer here real quick. I want to the whole carcass on the ground. So this would be indication maybe that they could have cut some of these, because straight up this wash might have been a way they were going up. There might be a mindset right up in here somewhere.
you can see this one here.
That was chopped too.
It's even more defined, those axe marks in there.
That's definitely chopped. So this is the Spanish Trail access stuff that they were doing way back then, I would say. But when you see that, how you start looking on them, there could be carvings, notches, or it's just like a clue that maybe something up in here was where they started trying to dig, or they might have had an entrance. Some of these holes, I don't know if you've seen them, some of them are small, like you got to belly crawl through them and then they open wide up.
Yeah, for sure.
And there could just be rocks piled in front of it. Who knows?
Super interesting if you could get that ground penetrating radar.
Yeah.
And see where the holes are.
Well, I need to contact the Terra Exploration guys, and we just plan a trip for them to come up here and scan this whole place.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the guys who did it before, if they actually found something or not, and that's why they ended up not buying it or what. But
did they say where they found anything?
they said it depends on who you ask. One guy was really hush hush,
Yeah.
and the other guy, he just liked to talk. So it's hard to tell who was telling the truth. But he said that most of the tunnels ran this way through this ridge right here.
Parallel. Yeah, so it would go like through the length of it.
Something like that,
Yeah, it's so odd.
That's right,
This
but
one looks
they
chopped too.
wanted to make sure that they kept open, and they wanted to come over here at some point and check things out.
So they didn't tell you everything.
No, but they wanted to make sure that they kept like there could be something over there, and like we want to do some things with that. So
It looks just like the washout or game trail or something, and all this is chopped. We'll get the Terra Exploration guys up here and find some entrances,
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
because they'll be able to see where the tunnels are going underground, and then where those all line up will converge at a point that we can go dig out and then get inside, and then we'll be in the tunnels.
Yeah.
That would be wild. Can you imagine that day?
That'd be so cool. According to them, I don't know if they ever found a tunnel entrance, because they kind of did the same thing. But according to them, there were tunnels, so we'll see if that's true or not.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And there's like old documents that they said they found that said that there was a gold mine on this property. So
There was.
yeah, They went around and talked to a whole bunch of like old timers and stuff that said that they remember a mine being on this property. So.
Oh man, it's like Goonies out here, right?
Yeah,
It's just
it's
like,
getting dark. We gotta.
yeah, for sure. Whoa, why is there a whole big line of trucks coming up here? That's what he's looking at. As soon as Roger Colty from Indigenizing Minds sees this, he's going to be in the comments saying, polygonal floor, that's a polygonal floor. Charlie, what do you got there? Oh, good Lord, that's a dead leg. There it is. It's still there, look. Another one. Two of them, look. And she was abducted, her entire family was murdered, and she was brought back up here and actually kind of sold into an arranged marriage. And that all happened right where Skinwalker Ranch is. And when that occurred, and when Rose was taken from her family and they were all murdered, the Navajo enacted the Skinwalker curse upon that land. That's not an arrowhead, that's definitely a flake. Look how it looks like it was just set there.